So I'm Saphia Jackson. I'm a junior. I study public policy and development, and I'm the current graphic designer for BSA.
Hi everyone, my name is Ariana Seymore. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a junior studying policy planning and development with a minor in cinematic arts, and I'm currently the director of social media for BSA.
So I just want to touch on. So basically we're running for co-executive directors as well as assistant directors. We just co-in.
Yeah. So basically we're a ticket together. So we're down to be co-executive directors together or co-assistant directors together. So,
yeah. So I wanted to start off with a little history that I have here. So I was a spring admit my freshman year. So my start here was a little unorthodox than most. However, I did get pretty acclimated in the upperclassmen community. How I did so was actually going to BSA meetings and then joining BSA, and at the same time, I think spending a summer here as well helps you get a little more acclimated and meeting people that you wouldn't normally hang out with. So in terms of campus involvement, like I said, I was graphic designer for BSA. I helped with a lot of campus climate, which was an action team of activists that did a lot of things, which we could talk about later if you want to at the side. I also helped with a coalition. I also helped with Motivate and Empower, which is another Oregon campus. I think that's it. Yeah, so that's a little history that I have here. So basically I have a lot of background in activism on this campus, as well as working with other organizations and knowing their in and outs, as well as just, being a friendly face on campus and being here for 3 years. So that's a little history I have.
My experience is funny because when I think of my experience here at SC and within Black SC, BSA has been the foundation of me not only getting involved on campus, but truly creating very meaningful relationships with everyone else who are a part of BSA. So I came in the fall of 2014, and I actually lived on Somerville Place, and right away I jumped into BSA, so I was the Somerville liaison for BSA. So as a freshman, I was coming to every single meeting, and I really loved it. And I was also part of, I was a delegate for diversity affairs, which is also a part of undergrad student government, but instead of being a part of program board like BSA is, it's a part of the advocacy side. And so my sophomore year, I realized there was nothing, of course I had to continue my commitment to BSA, so I was the secretary on BSA's e-board, and then this year I decided to apply for director of social media, and I've been serving in that position since last fall. And in addition to that, I was the co-assistant director of diversity affairs last year during the whole campus climate era, I guess you could say. So it's interesting because throughout my 3 years of being involved in BSA, I've been under very different leadership styles, leadership eras and teams, and I've been able to kind of accumulate kind of what Saphia was talking about, accumulate that experience and that knowledge of the history of BSA on USC's campus, and really get to interact with alumni or older students and see what they did that was successful, what they did that was unsuccessful, and be able to really use them as a resource, but then at the same time apply my own ideas to it. So one thing that I've always been big on was recruitment and helping new incoming Black students be as fully acclimated as they could be on USC's campus, just because that was something that was extremely important to me during my freshman year. So at the end of my freshman year, a lot of times people will ask me oh, why are you a part of the 2016 fall admits group? You came in 2014, and I'm well, every year I've been actively trying to at least add people to the Facebook, add people to the group me and stuff, because I think that's very important. But I think that also there's a lot of improvement to be done with what BSA can do in terms of recruitment. So I think with both Saphia and I, with our past experience, we're going to be able to apply that to our work for next year. But at the same time, we realize we're extremely open, and not just open, but we want new ideas. So in terms of our e-board, we're going to be seeking out underclassmen and seeking out people who don't necessarily have experience with BSA to get that new perspective, to be able to give us a more outside opinions, I guess you could say. So yeah.
So something I've also noticed as like a student here in general. So Black SC has been very interesting to me because when I first started out as a freshman, I felt very isolated, very like, oh, who are those cool upperclassmen? And I didn't really get any sense of that until literally this year. And even this year, I noticed there's a disconnect or there's just a new wave of generation. And I mean, the main fear of that is losing the connection, right? And having to rebuild over and over and over again, and wondering why we're just those like minority students or that minority group that can't get it together, or we don't have some type of presence on campus. For my mission, I'm trying to change that. I'm trying to. That's BSA. Like, oh, that's a Black org. Like, we have a Black org. Like, I think that goes unnoticed, as well as, you know, other people knowing us, you know, take care of your own home. So building connections within our own community and the different subsects of our community. I don't want us all to feel like, yes, I want us to feel like together, but we don't all have the same narratives, and we can be comfortable with that, and do excellence through that. So if you want to ask like specific ideas, I'm open to answering that, but that's my broad.
Yeah, and I think like definitely our goals for next year are to strengthen and improve like BSA's signature events like Black Family Dinner, Gear Fest, the Mahogany Ball at the end of the year, and other things that we have like product of our dreams, and giving more help to like the CREX. And I think a huge part of BSA are the member orgs, and I think that like definitely we've been putting in more effort to give not only like the member orgs resources, but to give them like even more autonomy in terms of like creating the whole BSA experience. So I think that's definitely going to be at the forefront of our leadership for next year, because like essentially BSA is made up, I mean, we have like our individual members, but essentially BSA is made up of our member orgs. Like when we look at the calendars for Black Welcome Week, when we look at the calendars for Black History Month, like it all consists of member org events. And I think it's cool. I think it would be cool to have even more involvement with the member orgs during our meetings. Like I know that people have really enjoyed like MPHC coming in and leading meetings, and having PASA come in and lead meetings. And I think like by doing that, we would be able to reach like the entire Black SC community without like creating one narrative, because we have people who belong to NSBE, who belong to SVG, who belong to MPHC. So I think it's important to give like everyone that platform, and to continue to increase our support for member orgs, because essentially like that's where everyone finds, you know, their niche. Like we're all we all have like similar experiences but different narratives. So I think like that's definitely something very important.
So yeah.
Thank you. Woohoo! Any questions from the audience? I see Preston.
Well, I want to start off by saying that it was a pleasure working with you all this past year, and you've done incredible work with everything that you've done. So it was a great pleasure working with you. My only question would be this, because I know you all have experience, is just how much you are willing to give to BSA. I think that, this is my personal opinion, the director and co-director this year have been exemplary. I mean, it's been probably one of the best leaderships BSA's ever had.